What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Fuzed Life Podcast, where I host guests with specialized knowledge in back pain and in all things back pain. Today's guest is a singer, songwriter, actor. Dude's got a million things going on. So with that, I introduce Tyran Brown. Tyran, how you doing?
Hey man, pleasure to be here, man. This is dope.
Awesome, brother. Great to have you on, man. I wanted to ask you about your career. So,
Yeah.
I mean, like when I'm on your IG, you got a million things going on. You're acting, you
hmm
are producing songs. Looks
hmm
like you're trading a little bit and you're killing it, dude. Tell me what you got going on, bro.
Oh yeah. Man, born and raised in Los Angeles, California. Went to college in Las Vegas as well. So, you know, always just had a mindset of, man, just put yourself out there, do dope things, figure out what you want to do, and keep your options open, and focus on your talents. You know what I'm saying? Like growing up, like I had friends or I had peers that were you know actors or child models or things like that. So the entertainment industry wasn't that far fetched to me. Um, man, even like my guidance counselor in seventh grade, like her son was like a child actor. You know,
Hmm.
it was just that's just what it was. Um, and then moving to Vegas at 18 years old, uh, being like the normal the normal 18-year-old's college experience, going to the school I went to, I didn't have a regular college experience. Like my second day getting to Vegas, I was at a mansion party where the theme was Mardi Gras and girls was doing what they need to do to get the beats. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
uh Vegas is real fast paced. Always been into music. I started rapping when I was like in fifth grade. I was rap. Me and my friend, we would go down to like Sam Ash or any of the music stores, just get on the keyboard, make songs. He finally ended up getting the keyboard, and so we would do it like that.
Mhm.
I started taking it a little serious in high school. I fell back on it when I went to college because I was just trying to lock in there. I graduated 2009 in the middle of the recession. So, our whole life, I'm born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. Our whole life, they were trying to like shove down our throat, like college is the only way. Like if you go to college, you'll never get a job, you get a career, whatever, blah blah blah. 2008 happens. 2009, I graduate. It's nothing available. I was when I graduated, I was a disgruntled Best Buy employee, selling cell phones. So I was just trying to figure it out, and I was playing one of my old songs that I recorded in high school,
Mhm.
and one of my friends really lit a fire. He was like, "Man, these songs is dope, man, but what's good? Like, where's the new stuff?" And at the time, there was like a kind of resurgence of my generation. You had Nipsey Hussle was coming up at the time, and we from a similar area. You had
Mhm.
Drake was coming up at the time. J. Cole, Wiz Khalifa, Wale, Big Sean, and my friend, really my close friend still to this day, he really like got behind me, like, man, you need to mash and do this. So uh I started really pursuing that heavily again in Las Vegas. I made an anthem for my school's basketball team. Uh it was kind of Wiz Khalifa at the time, he had a song Black and Yellow, and
Yep.
the Steelers kind of really got behind that. So that's kind of what inspired that. Um and the CBS station in Vegas, they heard the song because I put it, like, I spread it out all over YouTube. Like YouTube was like kind of the new thing to do at the time, and the CBS Sports Highlight Show, they reached out to me. They like, hey, we heard your song, we like it, we want to put it on the intro of the clip, and they paid me
Yeah.
to do it. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know anything about sync or anything at the time. I'm just like, all right, cool. Like, and my mom at the time, like she kind of saw that. She always knew I was into music, but my mother, I come from a family of educators. My mom worked in Los Angeles Unified School District and Rialto Unified School District in California. My uncle was LAUSD and he worked at UCLA. My grandfather was LAUSD. he was at LA High School, and he helped open up Crenshaw High. So education was like that was what my family was on. But my mom, and I was always like a very good like creative writer. Like
Hmm.
that's what I was like known for in school. So when my mom heard the song that I made for my college, she like really got behind it real heavy. She was like, "Look, like it's really nothing going on like with, as far as that, like you like work and stuff." Um I just got laid off from the full-time job that I have when I finally got a job because we got budget cut. And my mom was like, "Look, if you break your lease, like man, just move back to LA and like focus on your music." So um that was like end of 2011. And then so 2011, like I'm living at my grandmother's house, like just getting back on my feet, trying to figure it out. Um I meet a dude by the name of Malik Youssef, and he's one of he was a mentor to Kanye West at one time when Kanye West was coming up, and then when Kanye West got in position, he hired him on as one of his like main writers, producers, everything like that. So I met him. He kind of really brought me into the music industry and showed me like uh songwriting and song
Hmm.
structuring and things like that. And I ended up getting one of my I did a lot of work, but I got my first like official credit and payment from the music industry on Wiz Khalifa's second album. So that's kind of how I even got introduced to like being behind the scenes and writing songs and thinking of
Yeah.
other people, and that just kind of parlayed from there, so that was really the main focus for a lot of years. And then just living in LA, and trying to focus on music. Like me and my manager at the time, we were always trying to like find ways like, all right, how can you stay afloat like while we're campaigning? Cause, you know, uh like songwriting, like your royalties and your publishing, you only get paid quarterly. So you get paid lump sum once per year. You got to figure out everything else through them. Um, so it's like, all right, so what's some other things we could do? Um, and acting was always kind of there. I never really got too serious about it, but I was able to get in the union. I've been in SAG since 2015. Never really took it serious. And I know the next part of the acting, I guess we'll get into, because that a big inspiration for the acting came after my surgery. So, I
Okay.
don't know. I don't know if that brought us up to speed on prior.
Yeah, yeah, that pretty much answers it, man. It just seems
Yeah,
like you got a million things going on.
yeah,
What about the day trading, dude? It seems like you're killing it, bro.
yeah. No, and so that once again, that was post accident. Post, so I got into a car accident 2019. I know we'll get into that. That's
Hmm.
what caused all my back problems. Um, I wasn't able to go into surgery until April of 2020. Uh, a big part of that had to do with COVID, so it got pushed back. So, you know, the world is shut down. I'm pretty much shut down, trying to recoup, rehab and everything like that. Um, there's a lot of things going on. Like the world is shut down. Everybody's paying attention to a lot of things. So my wife kind of brought the stock market up to me. So my dad was always like a finance guy. My dad, he was either like an accountant or worked in finance for whatever company he worked for. So he had me investing young, but he didn't really like show me how to do it per se. He just kind of told me, what he was doing. Uh, and then uh, when I was in college, he gave me the option to cash in, and a 19-year-old broke dude, like I cashed in. So I didn't really know much about it, but I was
Hmm.
aware of it. So when my wife, my mind was all over the place at the time, and we'll get into that, but it's just like there was a lot of uncertainty with me and what I was going to be able to do physically. And I'm like, man, just gotta figure some things out. Uh, so my wife, she introduced me to this podcast called Earn Your Leisure, and they have a segment on Earn Your Leisure called Market Mondays. So I was watching that. I was watching this dude called Wall Street Trapper, and then my wife went on my phone and followed a bunch of like stock people on Instagram. I'm like, who are these people? And one of them I came across, his name was Chris Johnson. I kind of liked how he did it, and he started this Discord called Wealth Squad, and then I kind of became like really engaged with that, and
Yeah.
so that just became like a new sensation. Like we would just be on YouTube, kind of checking some things out. I jumped into some stocks. So I like to gamble. I play. Of course, I went to college in Vegas. I like to gamble. So LA was like all the way shut down. Like I said, I'm already like mentally at a very, very low point physically.
Mm-hmm.
LA was like really, really just tragic at the time. It was like a weird place. And Vegas was kind of open. So we were like, man, let's just go to Vegas. Like and I met my wife in college in Vegas. So that's like both of our like second home. Let's go spend some time out there. And we were studying the stock market as well. So I happened to have a pretty good trip in Vegas. I think I won like around $3,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, let's buy some Tesla stock. So buy some Tesla stock. That shot up, man. Made a lot of money with that. A couple of companies. It's kind of I know I bought some MGM stock that shot up. There was a company called GNOG, and I think they merged now with another sports betting app, but we made a lot of money off that. And it's just like, wow, and that was just buying shares. And so, you see a little success with that. And we just kind of got all the way locked in. So I was in Wealth Squad, which is the Discord that a YouTuber named and one day he was just like, hey, AMC is getting beat down, like it's down to $2. This is before I knew anything about meme stock. I didn't know anything about what was the other one, GameStop, anything like that. He was just like, AMC's at $2. It's a good buy right now. And once again, I just had another successful blackjack series in Vegas. So I had like $6,000 extra dollars, and I was like, all right, I'll put this in AMC. He was like, it's at $2 now. I'm gonna write it up to $6 and sell. I'm like, that sounds feasible because everything's shut down right now. It's getting beat down. I can see AMC stock going up to $6 within about 6 months. A day later, my little cousin called me during after hours because I wasn't expecting AMC to do anything. My little cousin called me during after hours, and he was like, bro, like, look what AMC is doing right now. And it was up to like $9 or something in the after hours. I'm like, oh, wow. I'm like, what? So then I wake up the next day, AMC was at $16. So that $6,000 I invested turned into $40,000. I cashed that out. Man, if I could find a video from that day where I'm dancing in my apartment, and I was like, oh, I'm sold. So that told me, this is something we're gonna do, like, and once again, it all started from I'm being very honest with you. It all started from pandemic having nothing to do, and me really starting to think hard about, all right, what am I gonna do if I can't physically like be moving around and using myself to earn some money? And then the success that we saw from that made us say like, all right, this is something we want to really make a part of our lives. And then we took it from there. A lot of ups and downs, made a lot of mistakes, had a lot of successes, but we're in that for the long run for sure.
Tyran, from that story, I see one of two things, or both. Either you pick up on stuff really fast, or you're able to lock in. Like, I don't know if anybody can lock in like Kobe, but you got that Kobe type focus. You know what I'm saying? Which one do you think it is? Both.
It's a lot of both. If I'm being very honest with you, and it's real funny, man. Like, So growing up, so I was born in Inglewood, California, and when I was a kid, the Lakers were playing at the Forum, like right, literally around the corner from where we live. So I was born in 1987. My dad, and I'm a Gemini, so I was born at the end of May. My dad credited my birth for the Lakers winning the championship that year. So we grew up in a super like Lakers household. Eddie Jones was my favorite player on the Lakers when I was a kid. And when we got Kobe Bryant, they traded Eddie Jones to upgrade Kobe Bryant. So I hated Eddie Jones. I mean, I hated Kobe Bryant as a kid, right? But as I grew into an adult and I started understanding Kobe Bryant's mentality, I actually I fell in love with the dude. So I definitely I incorporate a lot of his mentality. But man, throughout life, I've always been like a very bold person. Like even just in basketball, I remember like little kids, I would like go up to their parents like when I was like 8 years old, like, hey, like your son don't have a chance today. Like I'm talking to the parents, you know. And whether I really believed it or not, because I was 8 years old playing in an older division. Whether I really believed it or not, I like putting that target on my back. You know what I mean? I always liked the environment that was kind of like dog eat dog, and let me just throw myself in there and see what I got. And you know, I'm not scared to take like lumps and bruises and pick myself back up and learn. So yeah, I definitely had that. Hey man, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And once I say I'm gonna do something, I just jump in and take what I can from it. And you know, my dad really raised me to be very, very instinctive and figure things out. My dad didn't asking my dad questions, asking my grandfather questions, they would never answer for me. They try to make me figure things out. And I hated it at the time, but that really helped me try to be adaptive.
Dude, that's great. It sounded like you had two great parents. Like your mom supported you through things that, like the music industry and acting, a lot of parents, like we talked about, they're going to say, no, you got to go to college. I'm not supporting you through this. But like, shout out to your parents for that. And then, yeah, your dad taught you a lot of lessons by not answering those questions, dude. And I think that made you who you are today, dude. You're able to get up on stage. You're able to go act kind of fearless, you know, like whatever happens, happens, right?
Yeah. And I'm not, I never been, like, it's funny, man. Some people that know me, they might have thought I was serious at one stage of life, but honestly, like, I was a goofy, happy-go-lucky kid, and you know, I buried it at one point. Luckily, I've been able to like find a lot of that in myself. But with that, man, like, I never been too embarrassed when I failed, and I never been scared to suck at anything. You know, because when I first started playing basketball at 3 years old, I sucked. And then I picked up on one thing, and my dad would introduce me to something else, and I sucked at that till I didn't. You know what I mean? So I kind of it's just like, when anything you do in life, you know, some things, yeah, you are going to be natural at, most things weren't. You know, so you suck. Of course, people are better than you, and then you keep going until you don't suck anymore.
Gotcha. What would be your dream movie role? If you could play a movie in a movie tomorrow, what would be your dream role?
Man, you know what? I wanna be like a evil, like a very like evil villain, with a lot of layers to me though. I want you know, similar to like Denzel Washington in Training Day, how he kind of just seemed like he was like a tough cop that showed tough love, that wanted to develop you, and then he kind of knew how to talk you down, but then you realize he is like he has no good intentions at all, or even like man, there's several movies I can think of, but like I want to, because I'm a Gemini, you know what I mean, and so naturally in life, like, I take people on the journey. Like, I got to laugh in 1 minute, then I might say something that makes you mad, then I charm you. You know what I mean? So I really want to, even in a sense, like Heath Ledger is the Joker. You know what I mean? You're supposed to hate him, but he's like kind of engaging.
he could tell you a story right before he kills you, and like leave I like and something that's like I would even like love to do it like maybe in like a timepiece like an old mob person from like the 1930s or something like that, like something that's like way out of my element that I really got to dive into.
Yeah, dude, I think your explanation there just kind of reinforced what I said earlier. You pick up stuff quick and you break it down, like you're very detailed and very articulate when you're talking about this stuff because it's your passion, man. And that's really cool. As far as like the music industry, who would you want to collab with or who would you want to work with that you haven't so far?
From an artist standpoint, like it's like before I die, I gotta do a song with Nas. You know, 'cause he literally raised me, man, since I was 12 years old. Like I don't even care if it never came out, nobody heard it. Like I I just want to do a song with him. From a songwriter standpoint, like I would love to write a song. I would like to write a song with. I don't know if you know who The Dream is. He was an artist, but he was really known for being a songwriter and a producer. Like he wrote a lot of songs for other people that really blew up. Like
Okay.
he wrote the Umbrella song for Rihanna. Umbrella, yeah, he wrote Rihanna's first big hit. So I would like to write a song with him. I would like to write a song for. Man, who would I love to write a song for? Man, like I can't think like someone like Celine Dion, like someone who's like already a legend, but hasn't been in the public eye, but them coming out like it would be a challenge to like can we get them back to that, like someone like a Celine Dion or like even like a Justin Timberlake or like Mariah Carey, something like that.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, dude, with the answers that you give, it's all the same. Like you've thought about this stuff and you're very articulate with it, and you can go multiple places. Like you said, the 1930s, or like a movie from today, or you want to, work with somebody that's hot now or bring somebody back. It's really cool that you have that mentality, man, and you're willing to do whatever. And it seems like you just have no fear, dude.
Man, I try my hardest not to, and then times I do have fear. I just embrace it because a lot of times fear is just this thought that comes into your head or this energy that comes into your body that controls your mind. I don't feel like fear is something that could really stop you if you don't allow it. You know what I mean? And yeah, like I just really and once again, especially since I got to a place where I didn't know if I was gonna be able to be myself again, and I can. It's really just like I really want to see how far I could go with anything. Yeah. I want to see how far I could go with anything, and I'm cool with the result, however it is, because I know how to be able to pick myself up. Good. So it's like why not think big thoughts and take big chances?
Dude, I love that mentality, man. Let's get into the vehicle accident, dude. Take me back to that night, man.
Bro, I literally, man. So I get married July 20th, 2019. I get in some of the best shape of my life, man. My wife is an athlete. My wife ran track. Even when she's not in shape, she looks like she's in shape. She's just born with strong legs and a 12-pack. It's irritating, So I got in some of my best shape. We got married in July. I went on a strict diet starting in March. I call it Psycho Beezy Mode. My last name is Brown. People call me Beezy. I call it Psycho Beezy Mode. 4 months. I'm eating spinach, oatmeal. You know what I mean? Even when I'm trying on my suit, the ladies like, man, we keep having an edit every time. Cause I told her, I was like, look, I'm not person you see today. That's not how you gonna see when I pick my suit up. I get into some of the best shape, man. We do our wedding in Vegas. We get back. like we're kind of like decompressing from that. So like we get married July 20th, July 29th. I'm in Beverly Hills. It's 4 a.m. I'm in Beverly Hills. I don't know if you're familiar with LA, but
No.
okay, got you. I didn't know where you're based out of. So I'm in Beverly Hills. I'm driving down Wilshire Boulevard. It's 4 a.m. There's no traffic at all. I'm driving slow. I don't see anybody coming. I don't see anything in my way. And then next thing I know, boom, my car gets hit. I'm like, man, what's going on? I spin out. It hits me on my right passenger front side. I spin out to the intersection. I'm like, yo, what just happened? And then I look up, and the guy who hit me, his car flips over on the curb. I see little sparks and flames go up, and then his car flips over on the curb. So I'm like, oh. So I hop out the car, I run over there, my adrenaline is going. I run over there to go help him because I'm like, oh, that it looked kind of ugly. So, like I said, I didn't even realize what the impact was. Then I look at my car. My car is like smashed in all the way, so Beverly Hills is, it's a very like prestigious city or whatever. So, however it happened, like the police got access instantly. So they were there. They sat me down or whatever, and they're just talking. They get dude's information, like come to find out, like for one, the car wasn't registered. It wasn't his car. He didn't have an ID. He didn't have any insurance. All of that. And they said he wasn't drunk. I can't call that or whatever, but he was going like super, super fast. Driving down a quiet street and down to like a business district, like the speed limit is only like 25 to 30. So like I said, the cops sat me down on the curb. My adrenaline's kind of like going down. I go to get up. I'm like, oh, like I couldn't get up. My car is not drivable. So my wife got to come get me, take me home. Like I'm like, my head is a little banged up, my shoulders banged up, my neck's banged up, my back's banged up too. Everything kind of hurts. So like I can't really isolate anything. So I go to sleep. Next day, I cannot get out. I can't lift myself out the bed. I gotta like roll out the bed, and then I'm like crawling on the floor, and I'm whining like I'm 2 years old. Like oh. I feel this crazy pain in my back going all the way down to my left leg. I can't really feel my toes wiggle. I'm like, yo. I'm like, what's going on? So come to find out, I have my L4, L5, L5S1, two huge bone discs, an 11. Is it centimeter or millimeter that they do? I can't remember.
Millimeter.
Yeah, millimeter. So yeah, I didn't want to be wrong. An 11 millimeter and a 12 millimeter bulge in both of those sections, and they're like, man, like, and it's like all your fluids out there, like they did the MRI, they showed me everything. They're like it's crushed, like it's flat. Like you're gonna need surgery, and you're gonna need physical therapy just to even get you in position of when we do surgery. Yeah. So I was doing physical therapy for months. I had surgery scheduled for early 2020. And then, COVID happened, so that has to get pushed back. So I'm literally waiting from August of 2019 to April of 2020 to get my surgery. I'm doing physical therapy. What's it called? When they sat me down on the table and my God.
Ultrasound?
Ultrasound. Yeah, sorry. They doing the ultrasound. Like he's adjusting me as good as he can, and then he put this thing on me that like stimulated the nerves or whatever. I can't Can't remember what it's called. And so in physical therapy, after like a couple of months, they would get me to the point where I could stand up in the moment, so I'm feeling a little more confident. But I couldn't even get to the door of the physical therapy before I'm hunched back over. You know what I mean? And so I get to like a decent enough point that I have my surgery. I have to just lay in the bed and not shower after the surgery for about a week. And then, you know, a week later, I'm back to square one. You know, I had to do rehab physical therapy, you know, for the next few months.
Yeah, and I seen on one of your Instagrams you were talking about how it put a lot of your goals and your dreams on hold.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Did you have a lot of opportunities going on at that time when this happened, and then it kind of set you back?
I mean, yeah, for sure. So, you know, I was full speed in music. I was doing a lot of songwriting, with a lot of big producers at the time. And you know, the way songwriting goes is, you know, so A&Rs or labels or artist managers will kind of like send out what type of songs they're looking for which artist have an album coming out. Like they'll email that, send that, and then so you get with the producers or whoever puts together sessions. You go into sessions and you're just in there all night, just coming with song concepts, either coming with a verse or coming with just melodies or coming with a hook. So you're doing a lot of that. So and these things are tedious. They take a lot of thought. They take a lot of strong communication, because you might be in there with 3-4 producers, 6-7 different writers.
Mm-hmm.
You're in there for 10 to 12 hours. You know what I mean? A lot of times it's late at night, and you have to have you have to have so many things blocked out so you can be locked in, and you're thinking creatively for a person that's not you.
Yeah. And
you're trying to create a sound for them that's going to be able to sell their album. You know what I mean? And you have to differentiate it. You have to try to come up with different melodies. Yeah. And so you're doing that. And then, you know, I just keep myself busy. I have a home studio set up, so I'm always trying to, you know, bring vocalists in and just keep myself busy when I'm not in session. Well, so yeah, I was full-fledged in that. Like we knocking out like 5 to 6 songs a day, and then sending them out to the producer to see if they vibe with it, and sending them to either A&Rs at the labels or artist managers. Like you have to put together so many different packages and send those emails out, and then if they want, we like this, change this. You know, it's a lot, and it's very, very tedious. And you have to, and you're doing all of this. Like, it's not like, all right, I go into a session and I leave the session. I was in there for 8 hours. I was getting $45 an hour, or a lot of times not a flat. You're doing all of this to sell it to then make your money. You know what I mean? So it's like you're doing all of this with a whole lot of uncertainty. You know, but that's what you sign up for when you do it. So the key I tell for anybody that's a creative, or if you're living like an unconventional life, everything else going on around you kind of has to be so stable so you can be able to thrive in this unstable environment. And you know, the accident, everything it did to me mentally, physically, especially coming right after my wedding. You know what I mean? I just 9 days ago, I just told this lady that she could trust me with her life to be her forever. And then in 9 days, she got to help me. 9 days later, she got to help me use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, there's a lot going on. My wedding was very expensive. You know what I mean? And I'm like, man, like, you know, there's a lot going on, you know. And it's just like, it was just overwhelming me so much. It's like, I just had to shut so many things down mentally. I'm gonna be really honest with you. And I don't want to be insensitive when I say this, but in all honesty, the fact that the world kind of had to shut down and so many industries weren't able to work and everything had to slow down, that actually gave me peace of mind because nothing was going on anyway. So because from August to February, I felt like now I'm missing out on so much. I'm losing opportunities. You know, this is a very like, what have you done for me lately kind of industry. So I'm like, man, all these producers are gonna forget about me, or my peers, they gonna land these songs, and then I'm not needed. I'm thinking all these thoughts. You know, so when the world kind of slowed down, it kind of helped me just be able to focus on my therapy, focus on how I recover, and lock in on that. Like I said, I don't want to be insensitive because I know how much of an ordeal the pandemic was, but luckily, in my favor, I you know, like the Grammys didn't happen that year. You know, so many a lot of the projects that we were working on, like a lot of things got put on hold. So yeah, like luckily at least that helped me deal with that. But when things started opening back up, you know, I was just still mentally in a weird creative place. Like a lot of things couldn't really kick creatively. You know, mentally, I just didn't all the way feel myself. You know what I mean? So, it definitely took a toll. And I don't want to skip too far ahead, but the dope thing about it, so a lot of things were still shut down, but the film industry, you know, found a way to like keep itself open. So I got reached out to. So there's this show called All American. They were filming the third season of that, but they were getting ready to do a spinoff. So instead of doing a actual pilot for the spinoff, they used one of the episodes for season 3 to work as like a pilot. So the show All American is based in LA, but the spinoff was to be based in Atlanta. So they had to like use spaces that they haven't like used before. And you know, they didn't I can't speak all the way on their part. So but I got reached out to be a part of that. And I'm like, you know what? Like, man, it gets me out of the house. It's a cool check. Like, you know, I get to kind of, this is like the first thing I could do to see, like, if I could walk around and do strenuous activity. Because prior to that, it's just, I'm doing my physical therapy. I'm in the house. Oh, I'm in Vegas at a hotel chilling. Like I wasn't like doing much active. So that episode took 3 weeks to shoot because they were just trying to figure it out because it was pilot. So that episode took 3 weeks to shoot. I was supposed to just like be like a random like college kid. As some kids were on a college visit. One of the Fridays after we got done shooting, I'm driving home. They call me. The crew calls me. The casting people call me. And they're like, hey, like we've been seeing you on camera, like you look really good. Like, would you be interested in playing one of the main characters, like boyfriends? Like, you're gonna like walk into a party and see her like throwing herself at another dude, and then you get real jealous and you're gonna have a kissing scene. Like, would you be interested in that? I'm like, what? I was like, why wouldn't I? You know? So bam, that dude's so you know, I got to be and I didn't even know how popular that show was. Like that show has a crazy cult following. So my character's name was Terrell. You know, I got to walk in there, you know, like everybody's like, okay, now do this. Like everything was kind of centered on me because I walked into this frat house and I see my girlfriend dancing with the main character from the original All American, and I get real jealous. And then I started like dancing on girls to like get in her face. And then later on, me and that same girl, like we have a little kiss scene. So that was my first like on-screen kiss scene and all of that. And so that was dope. And it was just such a mentally refreshing feeling because acting wasn't like my acting wasn't like a first passion of mine or something I had like vast ambitions for or experiencing, because the reason why music it was difficult for me to be creative in that is because I feel like the injury, like I lost a lot of momentum, and I feel like a lot of my relationships got in a weird place, and it's like, man, there's so much rebuilding I have to do. I got this weird random opportunity to do that, and then even from that, this other show called me, and then they were like, hey, we like your look, like, would you willing to do like a shirtless scene over here, like you're in the locker room and a girl she's trying to run away from somebody and she breaks into the locker and you're there with your shirt off, startled, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you know, and I got a nice sizable check for both of those opportunities, like, and honestly, like, with no credentials, you know what I mean? So so I look at that, and this is 2021. You know, they film it, and then so when that episode of All American aired, so I'm gonna be all the way honest with you, and my wife is next to me right now. So we watched the episode when it aired on the CW, and they show some of my scene. They show when I walk in there and get jealous, but they didn't show like when I start dancing with the other girl. They didn't show my kissing scene. So I'm like, I was like, damn, like, and you can ask my wife. I was like, I went back into like this crazy mode or whatever. So I'm just like, whatever. So then my phone kind of like starts blowing up. My social media starts blowing up. People texting me like, oh man, I saw you on blah 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 blah. And I was just like, yeah, man, thanks, man, I appreciate it, blah blah blah. I was like, man, I had another little scene, the kiss scene, they cut it out. They was like, no, they showed it. They was like, watch it on the app. So I downloaded the app and watched it on there. And I was excited. My wife was excited, like, oh man, this is dope. So then being in the entertainment industry, you know, I have a lot of friends that are like actors or like work in film. So that came out like, man, like we had a lot of like All American like fan groups and YouTube started following me. They started talking about my character, like, who is this dude? And he's gonna be a problem, whatever, blah blah blah, like on YouTube channels. And so I'm like, man, this is dope. But I don't know, like, I don't know this industry. I don't know it well. So I just made a post on my Facebook, like, yo, any of my acting friends, like, if y'all could point me in the direction of some representation, you know, I'd appreciate it. So I have a friend that's an actress. She introduced me to her manager, and we met. We had a meeting. I kept it very blunt with her, like, man, I really don't know, but I was like, I am in SAG. You know, I've done some small things. I don't know much, but kind of like what we're talking about. Like, man, I'm a fast learner. You know, I've had success in the music industry. I'm a very creative person. Like, you know, man. So we met. We hit it off. She liked my look or whatever. She had me do a little things that, you know, some of the, you know, resume builders, you could say, to get me right there. And then man, we just started going from there. And then, you know, I was so appreciative of how those opportunities helped me mentally during one COVID and the pandemic, when the world was shut down, just to be able to get out the house, and two, to take my mind off of you know, everything I was going through mentally. So it became like an appreciation, but through the process it turned into a love. And even so, how you were able to ask me that question before, if you would ask me before I started acting, if you would ask me what type of role, I'm like, oh, you know, something I could do, something that's actually relatable to me, like, you know, basketball player, or like, you know, college student, whatever, blah blah blah. You know, something I can relate to. I'm not really an actor like that. That's kind of what my approach was. Now I'm like tapped in. I'm like, yo, acting is a part of me. You know what I mean? Like, so I really try to push myself. I love the challenging auditions that I get. I love the people that I work with that you know, help develop the craft. So it's another craft that I'm very passionate about, and I'm really just enjoying the ride, because it's like I'm a little kid learning to play catch with my grandfather. That's how I'm approaching it.
Yeah. What I love about what you just said is, and so many people can't find this space, is when you weren't right physically, you were grinding mentally, you were grinding on what you could do at the time. You were developing yourself, like you said, getting out 5, 6 songs a day. You were killing it on what you could do. And so many people fall into a depression and they're just unable to do anything. And I get messages from people all the time like that. So
Definitely.
with you being so outgoing and like happy go lucky, are you depression proof, or did you have a little bit of mental health stuff going on?
Hell no, bro. Well, so let me be very, very open and honest with you. Prior to this, I've dealt with depression twice in my life, man.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time when I was in high school. Uh, basketball was my first love. I got into it with my high school coach. I didn't really like the environment I was in. Like, I felt like I could be at better places that fit who I was better. My parents weren't really listening to me, or we weren't seeing eye to eye. I can't just put that on them. We weren't seeing eye to eye. I felt at the time like nobody was listening to me. I lost my love and passion for basketball, and I was very, like I said, education was like, school came easy to me, I should say. Like, I was an AP honor student, the whole 9 yards. Like, I gave up on myself as a teenager at one time because I didn't have the guidance or the awareness to make the best of my situation. So that was a time I dealt with depression. And then one of my friends from college, we met each other on our second day on campus.
Mm-hmm.
We were born in the same hospital, Kaiser West, Los Angeles. We were born in the same hospital a day apart. His birthday is May 22nd, mine's May 23rd. Our lives were very parallel. My high school played his high school in football. I never met the dude. And we met our second day of college, got tight. We graduated at the same time. I was studying for my master's in business administration. He was studying to take the LSAT to be a lawyer. We got very tight. He got in a car accident when we were 25. He didn't survive. He got ejected from the car. He didn't survive. 25 years old. I went through that. That was a very, very tough depression that I went through. And even so, first, physically, what I was going through with my back and everything, that was already depressing. But something that made the depression even that much more, I was like, how come at least my friend didn't get to go through what I'm going through right now? Like, he was 25, we were 25, we was born basically the same time, same hospital, same college. Why did it take his life, but I still get to be here, at least have a fighting chance to get back to who I am? So that was part of the depression. That was part of the depression, coupled with my physical depression. Because one, I'm like, yo, man, I was like, mentally, I can't get my mind to a positive place. A lot of times in my life, when I had negative thoughts, music was one of my outlets, whether listening to it or just writing something down and being creative.
Mm-hmm.
Those were my things that I would go to escape to. Thinking about music at this time frustrated me because it's just like, man, I can't if I go into a session, like, I'm gonna be hurting and wincing and all of that. And it's like, I can't give them all there. So thinking about music made me spiral into depression. Thinking about, like, man, like, what am I, everything I know how to do to make money either requires my brain or my body. And what if that never comes back?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely went through a lot of that, and it was heavy. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming right after a wedding, because a wedding is just very draining within itself, just dealing with different family, a lot of personalities. So
Mm-hmm.
you had that, and then accident right after. Then me feeling like an inadequate new husband at the time. Then me saying, man, how am I even gonna be able to provide? you know what I mean? Oh man, nah, definitely the depression was heavy and it lasted long. And I'll be honest with you, I still notice sometimes when I'm not in the best place,
Hmm.
I notice those remnants of those feelings kind of creep into my mind, and it's still a battle, brother.
Yeah, and that's real talk, and that's stuff that people need to hear, whether they're going through back pain or whatever it is in their life, man. And you know what that brings me to? There was a study in the 50s. Have you ever heard of the study where they threw the rats in the swimming pool?
Nah.
Okay, all right. So this doctor had a bunch of rats. He threw them in the swimming pool, and he basically watched until they were about to drown, and then he pulled them out. So the first time he did it, it took about 15 minutes. Okay. So he dried them off. He let them rest. He throws them all back in. This time they lasted 60 hours treading water, 60 straight hours. And the belief in that is that they now had hope that somebody was going to save them. Right. So I think hearing something like you're saying and some of the guests I've had on this show, it really helps people. And I get emails all the time that it really helps people. And dude, just from hearing what you said, I know I'm going to get a lot of people reaching out to me talking about this. So I don't get a lot of comments, but I get a ton of emails. I have a really active audience in the email. And
Okay.
yeah, I'll try to share some of the stuff with you when it comes in, man.
Hey
But
man, please do, man. Please do.
yeah, but
Please do.
that was dude. And yeah, I love to hear that. And I know the people listening are going to want to hear that because there's a lot of people depressed right now, dude. So mental health in
For
this
many
country.
reasons. You know what I mean? There's people depressed for many, and you know what? Like, even, sometimes when you're depressed, you could allow yourself to feel guilty. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like some of us that have been through what we have been through, we might feel guilty. Like I said, I felt guilty because I'm like, man, I'm crying about my back, but my friend got in an accident and died. You know what I
Yep.
mean? I'm feeling once again, I'm feeling guilty because it's like at least the world is slowing down so I can focus on my recovery. But it's people dying and losing jobs and all of that.
Mhm.
Some people like with the only if you've been through what we've been through, do we understand like the physical pain and agony and the uncertainty and that we go through. But we may feel like, man, so many people have it worse though. Should I feel this bad? But for sure, man. Look, there's in my honest opinion, there is no like hierarchy on whose depression matters more.
Sure.
We all going through something, man. And if it's taking us to the level of depression, man, it's very important that we have people that can be an outlet for us.
Well said, brother. Well said. Yeah, depression is not weakness, man. So, um, tell me how you are physically. So you're three years removed now, right? So are
Yeah.
you? Do you think you're 100% of what you were before? 95%? Where are you lacking, if anywhere?
Man, nah, absolutely. I have never been 100% yet. Um, unfortunately, like times when I kind of feel somewhat of myself again, like
Mm.
I kind of like you kind of like get excited, and
Yeah.
then like you try to kind of get back to being who you are, and then you got little things happen and nicks happen, and like I've had to go. There's been times where I don't. There's been times where I would be like hunched over again and couldn't stand straight up again. And I'm like, oh my God, like I'm gonna have to go through this whole process again. Then I'll go talk to my surgeon and he's like, nah, it's just a flare up. Like you need to just, stretch your hips out, stretch it out, blah, blah, blah. And like, they were telling me prior and then they just had to remind me like, yo, yes, the surgery brought you here, but this is for the maintenance for the rest of your life on it.
Hmm.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? So you have that, and then it's your back, so it's the center of your body. Moving it around, you compensate elsewhere. You try to compensate elsewhere. So now I'm kind of dealing with knee issues and stuff like that, and like you just like I said, I'll have my times, and I'll have my times when I'm feeling cool, but then I'm like down for the next 3 days because my body's just not reacting right. So, and then even that happens to you 1, 2, 3 times. Now when you're feeling good, you don't want to do anything. You know, because it's like, man, I don't even want to put myself in a position to mess this up. You
Yep.
know, so for me right now, I got booked for a commercial on Monday, so I'm filming on Monday, and it's basketball based. So
Hmm.
it's like, man, even now, like if I had never been hurt before or injured or required surgery, I like 2 weeks leading into filming for this commercial, I would have been playing basketball every day, doing a
Yep.
lot of sprints, you know. And it's like, all right, man, I gotta do what I can. Like I gotta like get my shots up and everything like that. It still looks
Mhm.
smooth, but I just gotta maintain. Like, don't push yourself, don't hurt yourself. So it's like, and I'm gonna be on set on Monday, like making sure that one, I'm able to get through the commercial, and then but I still look good enough to be booked again for something later, you know.
Right.
So that's gonna be weighing heavy on my mind.
Yeah, I feel that, man. Have you gotten on the court again competitively at all, or are you just kind of just maintaining, like you said?
So I was doing a lot of cardio last year, and I went on a cruise, and I don't know if you ever been on a cruise, but
I have
if
not
you
yet.
if you if you go on a cruise and you don't gain weight, you got a gift, you
Yeah.
know. But I was doing a lot of cardio, so I get back from the cruise, and I'm at the gym. I'm just kind of like hitting the heavy bag at the gym because boxing is one of my passions. And one
Hmm.
of my friends sees me, and he's like, "Hey, you want to play basketball?" And I'm like, "All right, yeah, cool." I'm like, I haven't played since 20. This is 2023. I haven't played since 2019 at this time. Um, I'm like, man, let me just kind of see what I got. I'm like, I've been doing a lot of cardio, so I feel like I can keep up.
Hmm.
I played one game. Um, I didn't get hurt necessarily, but even just like shifting from left to right, I just felt my brain like um, what do you call that? Like
It's like,
um,
but I've had the same. I think here's where you're going. Like I was running basketball practice for my kids, and I was kind of doing some, some defense, kind of light defense on one, and a kid tripped me from behind. And on my way down, I could just see all these scenarios in my head, dude.
exactly,
And yeah,
exactly,
I'm like, oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine. So,
yeah. But so I just noticed myself being real like timid and cautious.
mhm.
Um, and then um so I played. I didn't get hurt or anything like that, but I noticed like my back a couple hours later like kind of just tightened up, like it felt stiff, and I was like, all right, I gotta roll it out. And then I got an audition for a basketball commercial around that same time. So I'm like, all right, let me just get back to my drills. And one of the they wanted to make sure that you could dunk and like do different dunks. So I was working a lot on my dunks, and my back. I went through one of those times with my back, and
Mhm.
I couldn't stand up straight. Like I had to go. I went to a chiropractor. I went back to my surgeon to get talked to, and so kind of from there, I'm just like, look, man, like this is part of my lifestyle now. Like I need to be like on call, able to like do commercials and stuff. So now I don't even want to. And my mind's not all the way there. So I'm like, man, I don't even want to risk playing competitively. So I decided like not to do that and just do my drills and work. But I had at the end of last year and early this year, one of my peers, he invited, so our big radio station out here is called Power 106. And
Mhm.
they do like these charity basketball games like around the high schools all around Southern California. My friend asked me to play in some of those, and I did. I told him I'm like, look, man, I'm not the dude you remember, you know what I mean? So, but I'm gonna get out there and I'm gonna have fun and I'm gonna run up and down. So I did those, and I told myself like, don't think too much, like, and just kind of have fun with it. So I was pretty much just like rebounding, passing, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like getting assists. Like I if I get a rebound and I got to put back up, I was doing that. But I'm like, man, I'm not gonna try to like create shots or anything like that. I was still kind of just like playing it safe. So the pretty much like if I get invited to play in some of those like celebrity charity games, like I'll do that, and then I'll stay on my drills. But I don't think I'm gonna be playing competitively like that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't blame you. Like you said, self-preservation, you got to keep your paycheck in mind and you know
Yeah.
what feeds your family, dude. Are you thinking kids soon or what are you thinking?
Man, you know, I mentally, and even like prior to the accident, everything like that, like mentally, I'm there. You know, like I said, my wife and I, we never even really got like a fair
Mm-hmm.
chance
Yeah.
to get our marriage together. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we got married July 20th, July 29th. We're going through that. And then it's like COVID. She works she's works in like event planning. She does events. And
Mm-hmm.
so that there was nothing going on for her with COVID. So she had her own journey that she had to go through. And so as we're kind of like picking up the pieces with that, it's like, man, let's, you know, let's be newlyweds again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like let's kind of start that over. So um, but yeah, you know, every action I take now, I'm thinking about that. Even when I'm talking about like playing basketball competitively. Cause like I said, I for me, it's just about preservation because you know I want to be able to be as active as I can with my kids, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, I know like it won't happen like in the next year or so, but everything we talk about is to put us in that position
Mm-hmm.
to do as great of a job as we can with kids.
Yeah, brother. And you know what? I don't want to keep you all day, so I kind of want to leave you with this. Dude, everything I've heard from you, man, it sounds like you're knocking on the door of a lot of different industries. And with your mentality and your mindset, dude, I think you're going to blow up here soon, dude. I see the opportunities coming in, bro. I mean, you're where you need to be. Like, you're a fit in LA, bro. Like, you couldn't drop me in LA. I couldn't do what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're making it happen, dude. So I think that's really awesome. And it's really inspirational to everybody that's going to watch this. I just from you, I kind of wanted to get. Do you have maybe like a message for the audience, or something about mental health or getting through fusion, whatever it may be, brother? You got anything to say?
Man, like look, one thing I understand about life is no matter how prepared you are, no matter how credentialed you are, no matter how acclaimed you are, no matter how financially stable you are, no matter how much you've grown and matured as a person, no matter how many good people you have in your life, life is going to throw you inevitable punches to the stomach. Some of them are going to come back to back to back when it rains, it pours. Uh, First of all, we are never defined by our achievements. We're never defined by our money. We're never defined by what people think about us. We're
Mm-hmm.
defined by what makes us wake up and strive to be happy every day. And we can change that definition as many times as we want to. Um, you know, I would just offer, you know, especially once you go through things, and I'm talking to us as a community because we all are a community because we're a niche group of people that have all gone through this and felt that pain and had those thoughts of am I even who I knew I was anymore.
Yep.
So we we have already had to ask ourselves so many questions related to who we are as a person.
Yep.
You know what I
You're right.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing that I really learned from that, I could accomplish so many cool things. I have accomplished so many cool things. I have so many cool ambitions that I plan to accomplish and achieve. There's so many people that I want to meet and interact with. But at the end of the day, none of that really defines me. Uh, the things in life that truly bring us peace, joy, that wake us up
Mm-hmm.
and that give us a reason to keep going. And the people who will love us and the people who want the best for us and who can tell that when we're not being the best of ourselves, fight with us to get back to the best of ourselves, that's what's most important.
Yep.
For real, for real. That's what's most important, regardless of anything. And regardless of what any one of us do, regardless of where any of us are from, regardless of if we have kids, if we don't have kids, how we grew up, religious beliefs, none of that stuff mattered when we were fighting with our minds to try to get back to the person that we are. You know what I mean? So we're all connected. We all know how that feels. And we all know what's really important at the end of the day. You know, and that's just the things that we could take with us and appreciate for the rest of our lives.
Brother, thank you for that message. And thanks for taking time out to talk to me. I know you're busy, man. You got a busy schedule, but dude, I think you keep staying humble, keep working hard, dude. I think we're going to see you blow up, man. We're going to see you everywhere on TV, bro. So, yeah, just keep doing what you're doing, brother. And again, thanks for the time, man.
Hey, one more thing though. You didn't ask me the most important question you're supposed to ask me.
What's that?
How's T.O.? What's it like with T.O.?
Yeah. That picture, man, that was crazy, dude, because T.O. was one of my favorite players growing up, man. Yeah, dude, his personality, dude. So I hated him when he was with Philly, but because I'm a Cowboys fan. So when he came over,
gotcha.
And he's dumping the popcorn in his face, and dude, it was just it was wild, man. It was really fun to watch, dude. So how's T.O.?
Let me tell you something about that dude, man. You talking about charity basketball games that's for fun. Half the celebrities there don't even know how to play a basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I understand why that dude is who he is and why he got to where he got to. Cause he really and I didn't even know this prior to meeting them, but actually basketball was his first love, but football just gave him the better opportunities. You know, because he's about 6'4". He's a little shorter than me. He loves basketball, and he's a hell of a competitor. You know, when I first met him, I was in my late 20s. He was already in his 40s. He was in the best shape still. Like he running up and down the court. He's built like a tank. You know what I mean? And he has I understand his polarizing personality, man, but he's really a cool, very misunderstood, very, very passionate dude. One of the games that I played in about 4 or 5 games with him. One of the games that I played with him, it was right when it got announced that he was a Hall of Famer. So we was in the back like congratulating him, like congratulations on Hall of Fame. He was like, yeah, all that's cool, but we got to win this game, y'all. You know what I mean? So it was dope. Like to see a dude that was retired but still keeping himself that disciplined and that in shape and taking something that's competitive, that serious, like it really gave me, I really appreciate that energy, and it really gave me a lot of perspective on why certain people get to where they get to and have this mentality like, I don't care how I come off because I know what my goal is. And I know that really wasn't part of the thing, but you told me he was a T.O. fan, so I wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, dude, no, I could talk about it all day, but yeah, some people love seeing greatness like T.O. Some people hate it, dude. And I always thought that he was misunderstood. Very similar to Barry Bonds, like you just get killed in the media all the time, and then behind you're actually a really good guy, but nobody even cares to look. You know,
anybody that doesn't like Terrell Owens, I would challenge them to the most in shape friend, co-worker, relative that they know. Go challenge that person to race him right now, and you see a dude that's very locked in. So yeah, no, he's a solid dude, man.
That's awesome.
He definitely he had no ego at all.
Dude, that's really cool, man. That's cool that you get to rub shoulders with all these, celebrities, athletes, that kind of stuff. It's a really cool life, man.
Yeah.
And it's not for everybody, but it seems like, dude, you embrace it and you're killing it out there, bro.
I hate to sound how I sound when it kind of when I had this conversation with people, but it's almost pretty normal, like was born into it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
It's I get joy watching people that know me get joy. Like like how you met T.O. You met woo woo. Like that's my joy is like letting people like live vicariously through it.
Mm-hmm. Awesome, brother. Have you gotten something to eat after your workout yet, or what, dude? Those muscles are probably hungry.
Nah, man. I'm hungry. As soon as we hang up here, my wife
Yeah.
probably gonna chew my head off because she probably starving. I don't know what got in my head today, but I decided to run 5 miles. So yeah, no, I'm starving.
Dang, dude. All right, I'll let you get to it, man. Again, hey, thanks for the time, brother. I really appreciate it. And anything that I post, you can use it as yours, bro. Like nothing's copyrighted. You can put the video wherever you want. I'll send you a link as soon as it's done, and do with it what you want, man.
Hey, man, and this is needed. This is necessary. Don't get like all of that social media stuff. Don't get caught up in that. What you're doing is very, 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 very important. This is the first time since 2019, other than my wife, that I've even had to embrace and go in depth with this journey. This is the first time. This was therapeutic, man. And a lot of us, like I said, like there's a huge purpose for why you're doing this, man. And I appreciate you for even having the awareness to realize how important it was. I really appreciate that, bro.
Yeah, brother. All right, my man. It was fun. Hey, we'll be in touch, dude. I'll shoot you a message, and yeah, I'll get the video out to you. So again, bro, appreciate it. Tell the wife I'm sorry I kept you so long. I seen you posted something about her doing some running some fitness stuff, like she was doing some drills and stuff like that. I hope that's going good, dude. But yeah, dude, I think you guys are gonna blow up, man. So hey, keep at it.
All right, man. And this year is not the Cowboys' year either, brother. Tonight. It's always y'all year every season. All right, man. Peace, man.